Hi everyone! I am so excited to share Shoni's update with y'all. She has made leaps and bounds in just a week. I am so in love with this filly. She has such a kind and gentle demeanor about her. On Wednesday, Will was in the round pen with Shoni, and she actually let Will pet her without the fence being in between them. First time she let him do that. And we were finally able to get her to eat grain by mixing it with alfalfa cubes. And while she ate, she let me stroke her neck for a really long time. Then on Thursday, we let Rip in with her for a little bit, and then Cody, hoping that they would play with her and give her some company for a little while. But neither of them seemed very interested in her, and she didn't seem to care too much about them as long as they stayed away from her food. She let me stroke her nose when she was just standing next to me without eating or anything. And then while she was eating hay, she let me stroke her belly twice, which she had been a little skittish about before. And I was also able to spray her with fly spray while she ate. And one of the biggest accomplishments on Thursday that I'm so excited about is that she finally let me take her tag off of her. I was so impressed with her progress in just a few days. I came up to the house holding that tag aloft like it was a trophy or something. I was so happy. But wait, it gets better. When I went down on Friday morning with hay for her, she approached the gate of the corral, which we had opened the gate of the round pen up the day before to let her into the corral area as well, so that she would have more room to move. And I took the hay to the feeder that was in the round pen, and then went back to where she was standing in the corral, and she just stood there and let me pet her neck and side for a really long time without food motivating her to stay. And later that day, she let me put my arms around her back and had no problem with Liam sitting on her back while we held him. Side note, this kid loves the horses. He's always wanting to pet them and climb up onto their backs. He is going to be quite the little cowboy when he gets bigger. We also tried putting the halter on her, but she didn't let us, though she didn't panic when we tried either. She let us put a rope around her neck and then just pulled away from us when we tried to put the halter on. We tried hanging on and keeping her there to try again, but let me tell you, this girl is strong when she wants to go somewhere else. And while she didn't let us put the halter on, she did let us rub the halter and lead rope all over her, and she let me brush her everywhere, even down her legs. On Saturday, Shoni started walking up to us 50% of the time without us having food, and is pretty much okay with us touching her anywhere but her face. Though that evening she did let me stroke her blades a couple of times. I was putting hay in her feeder while Will pet her, and she let him walk next to her with his hand on her back when she came over. So she's getting very much more comfortable with us being there. She is eating the grain without it needing to be mixed with alfalfa and discovered that she absolutely loves it. And Sunday we actually hit one of our biggest milestones. I'm over the moon with how well she's done and how much she's progressed in such a short time. But on Sunday, we got the halter on her! Yay! I held it over her grain bucket and let her stick her nose in it a couple of times before trying to pull it over her ears. And it took a few tries since she doesn't like her ears to be messed with, but we got it on and she didn't freak out or panic or anything. When she would pull back when we tried to go over her ears, I'd put it back over the grain bucket and she would put her nose back in it, so she wasn't scared of it. She just doesn't like her ears to be messed with. We're still working on that one. She did decide that she didn't want us to touch her for a minute while she got used to the halter, but quickly let us go back to loving on her. And she's quickly figured out yielding to pressure. When she stepped on the rope after the first 2 times of slight panicking, she figured out stepping back to release the pressure. And she hadn't figured out following us just yet until when we were holding the lead rope until Monday. And then she quickly started figuring out following us when we hold it. She likes to walk right behind us, though, not next to us. Shoni comes up to us without having to have food and lets us pet her all over except her ears. Still a little shy around the face on Monday, but did let us pet her for a little bit there. When I was leaving the corral on Sunday, she actually followed me all the way to the gate and let me hug her on the neck for a minute. What really made my day, if not my week, on Sunday Monday. Sunday. That's the day it was. I was down there at night and was tying the round pen gate open. I was in between the round pen gate and one of the corral panels. And I was tying it open so that it wouldn't close on her during the night and trap her in one side or the other. And she came up to me with the gate in between us and smelled my arm and let me pet her for a minute. And then she came around and came in between the gate and the panel. And that was a pretty small space, not a lot of room to move. Most horses don't like small spaces like that, but she walked back there and chilled with me while I tied it and let me love on her before backing out. So I was over the moon when she did that. On Monday, she is letting us lead her around with only a little resistance and seems to really like us to pet her. She's discovering that scratches are amazing and seems to really enjoy scratches on her neck and on her back. But she quickly each day was getting better and better at leading with the lead rope. So this was one of the first couple of days. If she would pull back and not come, I would keep it taut and keep pressure there until she would move forward and realize that, oh, moving forward releases the pressure. So you'll see here in a little bit some more videos of her leading better and better. She is doing super well. My next step is to get her to pick up her feet. Our farrier showed me a trick for teaching the back feet at least. Putting a lead rope around their leg and pulling it so that you're out of the way of getting kicked instead of being right there next to them and teaching them that pressure. He actually had come over to check on our colt Rip. He had a little, looked like possibly an abscess in his hoof, but it turned out it's just a little cut and he's fine. Or it's a healing abscess and it just now showed up where we could see it because no problem. There she is leading nearly perfectly. Me and my flip-flops. It was early morning, okay guys. But he tried picking up her front feet and she was picking that up pretty quickly. But when he would run his hand down her leg, he was about to pick it up, so she would start slightly lifting her leg when he would do that. So she is picking up everything super fast. I am so impressed with her. From what I've heard, this isn't usual, that how fast we've progressed. But then I have seen some posts of people who horses have been progressing fast as well. So I guess it just really depends on the horse, like in all places. But we had a bit of a hiccup, and a reminder that she is a wild horse, even though she is doing amazing. This morning we went down there, and sometime during the night, the round pen got opened up. And she got out into the pasture with the other horses, as you can see here. So she did not let us come up to her. As you can tell, she was running around. Didn't let us catch her. So we had to kind of drive her back into the corral area. And once we got her back in there, she didn't want us going up to her or touching her. So Will had walked up to her and put his hand on her back and was going with her. And she was not a fan of that and kept trying to walk away from him, and he stayed with her. So she decided to kick him. And so we need to learn that that was not acceptable and that she does not kick us, that we're the bosses. We put her in the round pen and lunged her, which, as you can see, she started off not being so sure, but she then very quickly started figuring out what Will was wanting her to do. And after being lunged, she was back to letting us touch her and lead her around and love on her. She remembered all that she learned and did even better. I was a little afraid that we were back to square one when she got a taste of being on the open like that. But you can see she's licking her lips, and Penny is distracting her, but she's also telling Will that she understands and that she's learning. But she didn't forget anything. She remembered everything that we had taught her and worked on so far. And after being reminded who's in charge here, she went back to being even better than before. Guys, I am so in love with this girl. She's doing so good in such a short amount of time, even with this hiccup this morning. I'm hoping to start working on getting her to pick up her feet tomorrow, and then we'll keep lunging her in the round pen. That seems to be working really well for getting that respect. Try and do that at least once a day and work on her feet once a day, and we'll see how we go from there.